Cruising at 65, the engine's rolling. It's good to be alive. Out on the highway, oh yeah, we're free now. We watch the sun rise up, we watch the sun go down.
But it looks good. You got all your PPE on. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to pre-trip our truck. Check our truck, check our trailer, and then we're going to go to the mill and get you loaded. And what we want to do at this point is we want to open up the hood and we want to check the engine compartment, then we'll work our way down the back of the equipment.
I got this figured out. I've been doing my homework. I know how to get the hood.
Great, I'll get this side.
Sounds good. All good?
All good.
All right, here we go. All right.
Okay.
All right, Butch. On first look, fluids are full.
Okay. What else should we be looking for in this compartment?
Hoses, belts, any hissing noises, anything that looks like it could be leaking, anything that looks like it's not secure, any pipes. How am I doing so far, Butch?
Good, no, good.
Just making sure that everything is secure. What else should I be looking for, Butch?
Okay, what you should be looking for, you should also look at your springs. Make sure you have no cracks in your springs.
Got it. Looks good.
The other thing, you want to make sure you have no oil leaks inside here. You want to check your brakes. You want to check your tie rod ends.
Everything looks good.
Okay, no leaks?
No leaks, no noises, nothing dripped, all bone dry.
Okay, so the other thing you should always do whenever you look at a motor or anything in your engine compartment, you want to start at the top and you want to scan side to side and come all the way down the motor to see if anything doesn't look like it should be in that area or if it's abnormal. If it's abnormal, always question it and look at it a little bit deeper. It's a lot cheaper to fix it on the side of the, or fix it in the shop than on the side of the road.
I hear that, Butch. Everything looks great.
Okay, and check your tires. You want to make sure they're inflated. Look at your rims. Make sure there's no cracks in the rims. You want to look at your lug nuts, make sure they're in good shape.
Everything's secure?
Okay, you want to make sure your wheel seal's not leaking, no hubs leaking.
Nothing.
The other thing you want to make sure of is you have a valid inspection. Pennsylvania has a state inspection. A federal sticker is usually on the side, but you have a PA that is good.
Valid.
Okay. So Chuck, we have our lights all on the vehicle at this point. We're going to make sure that all of our lights are working properly, our turn signals, our four-ways, our fog lights. We're going to walk down the side. We have our four-ways on now. At the end, what we'll do is I'll have you in the truck.
Okay.
I'll check your brake lights and your turn signals and give you hand signals. We'll also check your ABS light to make sure that's operable. So we're looking at the front of the truck. All of our lights look good.
Everyone's on?
Lights are all on it?
Yep.
Okay, then we'll walk down the side of the vehicle. We're checking our lights, our turn signal's working. Again, we're gonna look at the tire one more time just to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Looking at our side walls as well, making sure there's no cuts, making sure our turn signal's working. Our mirrors are not cracked. The mirror is mounted and stable.
Okay.
Stairs are stable. Looking for any markings on this vehicle that just does not look right to us. Look at our DEF cap, make sure that's on. Make sure your IFTA sticker's on there. A lot of times what happens is when you get your truck washed and you power wash it, the sticker comes off.
Sticker comes off, okay.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna come down the side and right here at the door, what do we see there?
Fire extinguisher.
Absolutely.
All in, secure, and green. Triangles right beside them.
Beautiful, good job. Okay, so when we're coming down in this area, what are we looking for in here?
Well, I can tell you right now, I know it's regulation. You gotta have the hoses. They can't be touching anything to the ground or any surface. Gotta make sure there's no chafing. Told you I did my homework.
Absolutely.
Looks good. Butch, everything is connected. I don't hear any hissing noises, so everything looks like it's check. Everything in here. Bolts. Butch, I'd say from glance, everything looks good right now.
Very good. So what we also want to do the entire time we're walking up and down this vehicle,
Right.
not only are we looking, but we're constantly listening. Anything that doesn't look right, it probably is not right. So you want to look at it a little bit deeper. And we have a lot of resources that you can ask that question to.
Butch, I can tell you right now, if hoses hiss or if I see a snake, either way, I'd say something.
That's the best thing to do. It's your well-being, the general public's well-being, and you know, we have a legal and moral obligation to protect them all. The other thing you want to watch for too is your fuel cap. Make sure your fuel cap is on properly.
Secure?
Make sure your airbags are full, your shocks are in good shape on your vehicle as well. So you always want to look in that area. Again, looking and listening.
Yep. Everything looks good.
Okay, so we're going to continue down the vehicle. We're going to make sure all of our marker lights are operable. We're going to check the tire area. So what are we going to do in the tires again?
Pressure. Make sure they're nice and full. Yep, solid as can be.
No cracks in the rims,
Nope.
no leaks.
No leaks, no noises.
Okay, so then you want to check your brakes, and as you're under there looking at your brakes, you're looking for any kind of fluids, any leaking, any grease on the brakes or the pads, anywhere. You want to check your airbags. Make sure that your airbags are fully inflated. They're not hissing. Watching your springs, looking for cracks.
And watching your head.
Yes, sir.
All checks, Butch. Looks good.
Okay, so as we're walking down the vehicle, we're still looking. The other place we always want to look, even though we had a copy of our registration in our permit book, we should always open the tube and make sure inside the tube that you have a valid registration and inspection.
Butch, I'm going to hop underneath and make sure the jaws are locked. Because even though I did a tug test, I want to be sure.
Absolutely.
All good, Butch. Yep. Locked. Locked and loaded.
Okay, so as we're coming down the side of the vehicle, the other thing we want to make sure is we have a valid annual inspection on the side of the vehicle.
Yep.
So how to read a valid inspection with a federal?
Let me guess. From left to right.
Well, you want to check the month on there.
No, it's good.
So you want to check your month and your year. It is good 1 year from the date marked on that sticker.
Yep.
Okay,
Good to go.
so we're going to proceed down here. We're going to look for any cracks in the dollies, in any supporting beams. We're going to look for any cracks you would have anywhere in here. Make sure your landing gear is in good shape. We're going to just keep walking down the side, make sure our straps are all secured properly.
Everything's good. Lights are working.
Very
no
good.
No cracks. Everything looks secure. Everything good in the beams. Lots of reflection tape here too, Butch.
Yeah, you have to have reflective tape on the equipment. So back here, before I even look at my tires, the first thing that I want to do is I want to get underneath the vehicle. Again, I am listening at all times. I'm coming underneath. I'm looking at my brakes, my airbags, my air hoses, my air canister. Again, listening for any kind of leaks. As I'm underneath the trailer, I'm also looking at my main beams to make sure that I have no cracks in these beams going across. Your cross members. You want no cracks in those, nor on your axle plate. So everything looks good.
Looks good.
So I'm going to come to my tires. Again, make sure they're inflated. Looking at our lugs. What am I looking for in here?
Any cracks?
Very good.
Anything that doesn't look like it should be.
So now we'll come to the rear. We'll check your ABS light when we get back in the vehicle.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you how to do that. Got your marker lights all working. Your four-ways are working.
Perfectly.
Perfect. What's one thing that we could be missing on this that could get us stopped out there on the roadside?
With a light out.
A light out, very good. Do you see any lights out?
I do not.
Okay, how about, did we check our license plate light?
Great eye, Butch. Great eye. You're exactly right.
So you always want to make sure that license
you're
plate
right.
light is operable. That could be an instant stop if an officer is behind you.
Sure. I was actually stopped once because of that in my own car
Absolutely.
for light being out on the license plate.
ICC bumper's fully intact. Make sure that there's no cracks in your ICC bumper in any way. Make sure your license plate is visible. Anytime you come to the rear of the vehicle, you should always wipe your lights. You can see lights a lot better if they're cleaned off.
Yeah, you can, that's for sure.
So exactly what we did on the driver's side, we're gonna come up the passenger side and do the same thing, looking and listening. Okay, Chuck, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna check your lights.
Sounds good, Butch.
Okay, so let's check your turn signals. High beams, low beam, wiper, and washer. City horn, air horn. Let me do this turn signal. I'm gonna check the rear for you. I'll give you hand signals.
Okay.
And then when we're all finished, I'm gonna show you a way to check your brake lights when you're alone.
Okay.
So we got turn signal working, turn signal working. So we have all of our lights operating in this side of the vehicle. Again, we'll proceed up the other side and do the exact same thing. The other thing that's real critical to look on back here is your ABS light to assure they are operating properly. I'm gonna have him turn the key. Light goes on, shuts off, you hear the ticking noise, your ABS is operating properly. Very critical to make sure that that is working. That is a violation if that does not come on. Chuck, let me ask you this.
Yes.
If you're gonna check your brake lights,
Yes.
but you're the only one here, how are you able to check your brake lights?
I'm gonna make sure it's dark out.
Okay, what if it's daylight? What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna teach you a little trick today.
Okay?
If you pull your trolley valve down in there
Okay?
and let it in the locked position, come on down, I wanna show you what'll happen. You got your brake lights working on the tractor, so they should be operating on the trailer, right?
Should be.
Okay, let's check it out. Tell me what you think.
Like a charm.
Much easier than backing up to a building.
Very true. So Butch, although we had some fun here today, the fact of the matter is that safety is very important, not only for Beemac as an organization, but for every single one of our drivers. So I know, to you, this is a very serious and important topic.
Every time you get behind the wheel of that vehicle, you are putting the general public at a risk. This is an 80,000-pound bullet. You have to respect your equipment, respect yourself, respect your surroundings. You just don't know what's going to happen out there day in and day out. So pre-trip is very critical.
One thing I learned too is with the safety inspection as such, you can't make shortcuts. There can be no shortcuts that you take because a lot of people can get injured, not only yourself, but certainly anybody else that's on the road with you.
Absolutely, and that's why it's another factor to make sure you have the proper PPE to protect yourself from being in harm. You have to wear your PPE, you have to be able to know that truck from front to back. That truck will treat you just like your body. If your body and you don't feel good, your body tells you. When you operate that vehicle will tell you when it's sick. It'll squeak, it'll make a noise, it'll make a vibration. You feel that, you want to stop, and you want to look that truck over again.
And I know, Butch, I know with all of your years of experience here at Beemac and with all the company drivers, the owner-operators that we have, is there any last words, or are there any of those extra checks that you want to be certain, maybe some of those sloppy areas that you want to be certain that drivers don't overlook?
Absolutely. The most important thing is just remember this. BLT, brakes, lights, tires. Always look at your brakes, lights, tires. A good pre-trip can prevent an accident from happening because you're going to catch the defect before you get out on the road.
Well, Butch, on behalf of Beemac, thank you so much for our pre-trip inspection. Thanks for taking me along for the ride. Thanks for having a little bit of fun with me here today. Best of luck to you and all the safety in the world to you and all of our Beemac family.
We always want you to remember to be smart, be vigilant, and be safe.